Okay, one more time. Let's feel it. Welcome back to Bier. My name is Rich. This is my third time now at open mic, telling really true stories about shit that I've been involved in. As I said, my dumb shit discography plays like a double platinum vinyl LP of holy shit. It's the John and Yoko of what the fuck. But before I get into that, I a little bit of new stuff. So I want to ask you guys, remember about a month ago, the rapture was coming? Anybody remember that? Does anybody remember what the rapture, what the rapture is? Amen. Right? The rapture is when, the Christians, the true believers, associate that with, Jesus coming back and, taking everyone up into heaven. It's also not the first time that they've predicted he's going to make a pit stop at Middle Earth and take all the hobbits into heaven. But I looked at that and I thought that's wild, because there were people that gave away their stuff. They gave away their car. They gave away their house. They gave away all their money. And then they woke up the next day like they just came out of a 3-day bender. I was like, I did what? But I also kind of looked at that as a missed opportunity to really mess with people. And I was going to do this. I was going to go into the closet. I was going to get a bunch of clothes. I was going to bring them out into the street, drape over the car with a mailbox. I was also going to take the car, move it a little askew inside the street a little bit so it kind of looked like, I got taken up, right at the last second. And I was going to take pictures of this and I was going to put it on social media and let everyone know that, the rapture happened just in my neighborhood. That's it. I didn't do it because I'm lazy and I prefer to nap instead. But here's the other thing that I wonder if people have stopped to consider for just a moment. Isn't it possible that maybe, just maybe, he did come back? The rapture happened, Jesus came down, took a look around and went, I'm good. And then he's got to go back up and explain to his dad because, let's face it, as a society, we've devolved into this wretched hive of scum and villainy, if I may. We've become Mos Eisley. And he's got to go up there and explain why we're going to have to put a hold on all applications and admissions for the time being. And, he's just has to explain, Dad, I don't think these are the droids you're looking for. But I think I know the way out, because really, we're letting in every Tom, Dick, and Charlie through these gates. And I think we roll over a press release, let people know we have a bit of an immigration problem, all right? There's a border control issue. And, we're going to have to put a face on this. And I had a couple ideas. Caroline Levitt, no, I don't think so. She's got a mouthful of gospel and a heart full of hate. But I'm thinking Kristi Noem. I think Kristi Noem would be perfect to represent our border control crisis. Because let's face it, she understood the assignment. She knows that all dogs go to heaven. Anybody got kids? Who's got kids? Kids. Over there, how many kids you got?
15. 4.
It's a uterus, my guy, not a clown car. All right? Gotta rope that back. 4. So I have 2 daughters, 22 and 17, going on fuck you.
Yeah.
That's what we have. These girls are like my inspiration. They are the light of my life. They are just my sunbeam and my moonbeam, my 2 bright lights, my headlights, if you will, on the road of life. And my wife, she she's the best. She puts up with this. She's going to be canonized, I think, when she dies. And she said to me not that long ago, she said, well, I ground you. I'm your anchor. To which I said, well, that must be why you're weighing me down. But hanging out this past weekend with my nephew. He's in his early 20s, so a little bit about me. What I do is I go to conventions, pop culture shows, and I see a lot of celebrities, get a lot of autographs for clients that can't go to the shows and events. And we got to spend a lot of time together this weekend, which was really good because we don't really get to see each other that much, get to know each other. We met one celebrity that was kind of cool. Anybody remember Michael Ironside? He's a character actor from the 80s and 90s. Anybody remember a movie called Scanners? Right? He's that guy, when he thinks too hard, your head explodes. Anybody remember that? He was also Starship Troopers. And we're in line for him. And we've been in this line for a while, and I'm just starting to get a little surly. And I'm waiting because we have things to do, places to be. And we finally get up there, and Michael Ironside looks at my nephew and he says, you two together? And I look at him and I go, not like that, we're not. You've got a bit of a smart mouth, don't you? He said, yes, I do. So we're hanging out in the bar, my nephew and I happen to say to him, my youngest recently accused me of saying some of the most out-of-pocket things. And I'd never heard that phrase before, but I understood what it meant, that I just will say stuff that's just random. And my nephew says, yeah, my girlfriend, recently, the exact same thing. She says to me out of the blue, if I were paralyzed, would you take care of me? And my nephew thinks about it for a second. He says, like now when we're young or later when we're older? She goes, no, now when we're young, would you take care of me? And he thinks about it again for a second. He says, well, are you paralyzed from the neck down or the waist down? And he's like, she goes, it doesn't matter, I'm just paralyzed. Would you stick around and take care of me? He says, yeah. He goes, sure, I'd take care of you. As long as you understand that, I'm going to be getting some escorts to take care of me. And she looked at him and she said, you do that? He says, yes, I do that. Boys got needs. So then he says, let me turn it around back at you. If I were paralyzed, would you take care of me? And she thinks about it. She says, yeah. She says, yeah, I would, but would you be okay with me having a side piece? And he says, of course, just as long as you put me in a chair facing the wall with some headphones so I don't gotta watch or listen to it. And I said, well, how do you know that's not your gig, But intimacy is incredibly important in a relationship. As I told the crowd here not that long ago, I have a friend who had been married for a while, and it doesn't get it as often as he'd like, but rather than talk about it, he holds up fingers to indicate like how many months it's been. 1 month, two fingers, 2 months, 3 fingers. I start to worry about my dog when he comes to visit, but he's got some children now, so he's been intimate. My house, my wife treats my junk like a gremlin, and it comes with the same set of rules. Don't get it wet, don't feed it after midnight, keep it out of the light, and everything works. She's an amazing woman. I've learned to stay out of her way when she gets mad, especially when she gets mad at the kids. She's the disciplinarian in our house. She recently got into it with the 17-year-old, the fuck you kid. And I just heard yelling going on upstairs, and she comes storming down the stairs, and I said, are you okay? What's going on? She goes, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. And she gets the keys to the mom van and she goes off. And she drives away until she can, clear her head. And for a split second, I think to myself, should I go upstairs and talk to the kid? And the lizard part of my brain says, no, don't do that. Because that is a smaller version of that. And it's best if you just sit on that couch and mind your business. So when the boss finally came home, she comes in the house and she says to me, she goes, I'm not mad at you. I said, I know you're not mad at me, but I'm afraid of you. And I'm not gonna get involved. She got into it not that long ago with the next door neighbor. Lady across the street does not like it when you park in front of her house. She will come out and she will let you know to move that vehicle, that is her property. She's been told multiple times that is a public street. Anybody can park there. That is not your property. It doesn't matter. She's gotten into it with many people in the neighborhood. And I come home one day from the office and I see the mom van parked in front of the house, but not completely, like just the ass out, like 4 feet, or so. And I'm like, I'm just gonna move it forward a little bit because I don't want to deal with this. I know what's gonna happen next. So I get the keys and I move the car forward 4 feet, go back in the house, and a short time after that, my wife starts giving me heat because I should have left it where it was, and she has to understand this isn't her property. And I say, yeah, I know, but I'm the one that has to deal with the fallout, okay? I leave the house, I come back an hour later, I get out of the car, and I go, that van looks like it's moved backward. She moved that van back. After I moved the van forward, she moved the van back. And then I see on my phone, I get text messages from the neighbor. Will you please ask your wife to move her van? I'm like, yeah. So we go in the house and I'm thinking, am I gonna share this with the boss? No, I'm not. This isn't my fight. About a half hour later, I'm gonna go to the gym. And I walk out of the house, go to the car, and the neighbor comes right out and starts saying, she's not yelling, she's not raising her voice, I'll give her credit. Rich, can you please tell your wife to move the van? I said, yes, I told her. She's gonna be out right after she finishes dinner. I go to get in the car, and all of a sudden I hear this. And out comes my wife, and she's coming across the yard, and she's yelling, Tina, you've been told multiple times, this isn't your property, you don't own the street, anyone can park here. And then the neighbor says, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to Rich. And I'm thinking, bitch, please don't drag me into this. I really don't want to get in the middle of this. You want to call the cops? I'll call the cops. I'll call 911, I'll get them over here right now. And then she goes back in the house, and my wife calls the police. And the police come over, and they got to take a report, and they got to go over, and they got to, again, tell this woman for the umpteenth time, anyone can park here. We're not, it's not a thing. And the next day, my other neighbor, the lady that we get along with, she's all excited. Wow, I saw what happened. I like that side of your wife. That's awesome. Did you see her do anything? I said, no. That woman controls the food and the sex in my house. All right? I know when to say nothing. So, how much time? How are we fixed for time?
Whatever, really. There's not that many people on the list. So.
And what time we got?
It's more about the time you gotta go. I think you said 7, so I'm like that.
All right. I got time for one quick story. You guys are going to pick the story, okay? Now, as I said, I go to a lot of pop culture conventions. I meet a lot of celebrities, and a lot of it doesn't move this needle. I've met everyone from the cast of Star Wars, 24. It doesn't really move me. So you can pick, is the story you want to hear the time my buddy took a shit on Darth Vader's throne, or Carrie Fisher had trauma?
There we go. Shit throne.
Shit throne. All right. So, about 2 years ago, we're at the convention in DC, and there's a lot of Star Wars celebrities there. You got Rosario Dawson, you got Hayden Christensen, You've got a lot of cast from the show Daredevil, Vincent D'Onofrio, Charlie Cox, you know. And we have access to this room upstairs in the convention center where we can keep all of our stuff. It's locked up. It's, you know, we can come and go as we please. And they also have this set up so we can do private signage so that we don't have to stand in these long lines, right? The longest line of which is actually Hayden Christensen. People got in that line at 7 in the morning, and people were still standing in that line at 8, 9 o'clock at night. So we're going up and down. We're supposed to do a signing with Hayden Christensen at 9 a.m. in this room. And it was really kind of weird that there's about 7 or 8 of us in this room, and we're signing with Hayden Christensen, and he doesn't really say anything. In fact, nobody says anything. You know, it's almost like they're afraid to talk to this guy. And all we're doing is we're moving stuff in front of him, we're cycling out the pens, and you know, it's just really eerily quiet. And after about a half hour, we're all done, and he stands up, he says, "Thanks a lot, guys," shakes our hand, people take pictures, and off he goes. And we're commenting about this, I'm like, wow, that was really kind of weird. A few hours later, it's probably 2, 3 in the afternoon, and I said to my buddy Ben, I said, "Hey, listen, let's pop up to the private room, dump off our stuff, okay, and let's just go break for lunch or something." So we go up into the room, and he says, "Listen," he goes, "I'll be right back." He goes, "I'm gonna go use the men's room." Now in this private room, there's a bathroom. And I said, "Ben, just use this toilet. It's not a big deal." He says, "No." He goes, I gotta take a shit." I said, "It's okay." I said, "Well, why use a nasty public restroom? There's a private toilet. Just go take a dump." "Yeah, okay, I guess you're right." So he goes in, locks the door. About 2 minutes later, there's a knock on the door from the hall into the room, and I open up the door, and it's the show promoter. He says, "Hey, you gonna be here for a minute?" I said, "Yeah, what's going on?" He goes, "I'm gonna come back with Hayden Christensen. He needs to use the toilet." I go, "Sure, I'll be here." So, a couple seconds later, knock on the door. He comes in with Hayden Christensen. As they come in, I say, "Hey, listen, just FYI, somebody's in the toilet right now. He won't be long." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So the promoter and Hayden Christensen, they go off to the side. I do chit chat, and I grab my phone, and I'm furiously texting my buddy, "Move your ass. Darth Vader is out here, and he needs to take a shit." And about 10 seconds later, I hear flush, flush, flush. At this point, I'm standing over next to Hayden Christensen, the show promoter. I'm just like chatting with the guy, normal dude. And in my peripheral vision, I see my buddy Ben start to slowly peek his head out from you know, he'd open the bathroom door and he's sneaking around, and he's going like this. And he's pointing. And because I don't understand Benology, I'm thinking he's saying, "Keep them talking for another minute until I get the fuck out of here." Which I didn't learn until later. What he was trying to say to me, "Go get the Febreze out of my book bag. This smells like shit." Talking to Hayden at the same time, Hayden turns around and he sees Ben has egg. "Oh, no, looks like the bathroom's free. Okay, guys, thank you very much." He goes in the bathroom. Ben comes up to me and he's like, "Oh my God," he says, "that bathroom stinks. I really wanted you to grab the Febreze." I said, "I don't know what you're trying to tell me, buddy." I said, "Listen, he's a guy. Everybody poops. It's going to be fine. Don't worry about it." And we're laughing. And then shortly after, Hayden comes out. And as he comes out in one fluid motion, he goes, "Woof, somebody better light a match. Don't go in there for a hot minute." And I look at Ben and I go, the force smells strong with that one. That's for sure. So that's the story about the time my buddy, and I told him, I said, "Grab your camera, take a picture, put it on social media, let everybody know that you took a shit on Darth Vader's throne." So, anyway, that's my set. Thank you.